Well, I think I want to start my recordings from back when I can remember living at this house, and some of my memories outside of school was when we lived here and how Dad used to have gardens all over. There's one place here uh, that when we get there, why there's where Grandma used to live, and when we moved there, well, there was some people by the name of Conways that lived there, and they had a couple girls that was about my age, and it's the best I can remember. That's the first one. Now this greenhouse here, that was an empty lot when I was a little kid, and that was where Dad kept his garden. I mean, he had several garden spots around there, and that was one of them. Later on, Grandma Maynard lived in this house right here, and then a fellow by the name of Jacobit, he eventually moved there, and several people lived in that area. But this house right here was some of my early memories outside of school. And I remember that we had a pig pen out behind the garage there, and we had chickens, and we had a cow back there, about the back of the house where there used to be a well. And every day at noon when I'd come home from school, I would have to stop by and bring the cow in, and we would water her, and then when I went back to school, why, that was the job to take the cow back there. And I'm sure that I always smelled pretty good when we got to school. But anyway, lot of memories. I remember when Don Haskins used to come over to our house, and we would play out there in the backyard, and play catch in front of that garage there, that yellow garage that we saw. But anyway, my job was to milk the cow. That was my job, to milk the cow every morning and every night. And there's the garage door. There's a garage where Don and Rig used to play catch all the time. See that door open there? But anyway, my job was to milk the cow morning and night, and then I would have to water her. And of course, we had chickens and we had a hog, and Dad also had a garden spot out behind the house there that he worked in, and then there was a couple down the streets, and I remember he had a little patch there where he would raise balsam berries, which I didn't like. We had a tomato patch right behind the house there, and on down the street, why, there was a place where he would raise sweet potatoes and peanuts and corn and Irish potatoes and a bunch of that kind of stuff. But anyway, those are some of my early memories of this place outside of school. I can remember when they first built that house, why, it didn't have a sewer, and I can remember when they put the sewer line in behind the house, they had a real deep ditch there that us kids weren't supposed to play in, but we get down in there and play in that thing when nobody was looking. Oh, and everybody had an outside toilet back there then too, and that was one of the things that was a little bit different. In the early days, why, before they got those WPA toilets that had a concrete floor, while we would go out there and usually had paper out there. It was usually a magazine or something. If it was cold, why, we would burn burn the paper, and sometimes we'll throw it down in the stool when we got through if it was still burning, and down in the hole. And first thing you know, well, you got a little fire down there, but nobody'd get excited. You could usually put it out. There was a little bit, if there's a little bit of water left, but anyway, those are just some early memories. I remember Mr. Conway. He worked out at Eason's refinery. Eason's was a refinery right across the street from where Champlin's was there on 26th Street. And Mr. Conway played baseball for the Easton Oilers, and I always admire him. But I remember they had an explosion out the Easton refinery one time, and Mr. Conway got his hands and arms burned pretty bad, and a guy by the name of Peterson was killed in that explosion. But I doubt it. There's very many people that even remembers when we had an Easton refinery. But I remember in my early days also that we even had a Bolin refinery out there on the east side, on the south side, east side of 26th Street. And anyway, these memories that I have of this place, I don't know whether I was 6, 7 years old, or whether I was in the 6th or 7th grade, or 6th grade or not. But anyway, those are some memories outside of school. There's a lot of memories that we lived here. A lot of memories I have from living here besides school, but kind of hard to put those all on this thing right now. The memories are something that will come to you. You think of one thing, and then you'll think another one. But I know some of the things that I remember, I could have done it with Mildred or some of the neighbor kids and mentioned it to them later on, and they would never have remembered that particular incident, and then they might remember something that I've never got. So it's just kind of strange how different things stay in your mind or in your memory that didn't register on somebody else. When we lived here, why, Marion McCullum, he lived right across the alley from me, and I remember his folks only had 2 kids in their family, so they probably had a little more pennies than we did. But Marion would call me and want to know if I would want to go to the store and buy some candy. And Mom wouldn't have the money for me to do that with, so she would send Mildred to the store to sell a milk bottle or something so she could get 2 or 3 cents for it and bring it back. And then I would go to the grocery store with Marion, and we would buy 2 or 3 cents worth of candy, ever how much we had. But anyway, that was how I got to keep up with some of the neighbor kids. But anyway, those are just some of the memories that I have from the house right there, and I'm sure there's a lot more that'll come on. But right now, why, this is the only one. So we'll get some more memories later on.